Welcome to Punky's World. Okay. This is Blended Bunch. The Blended Bunch is about a family who the parents met on a Widows and Widowers forum on Facebook. And that's better. You can see my microphone, I really don't care. They got married. Now, the mom lost her husband and the dad lost his wife. The wife died in a car accident. Okay. Now, the conditions that, well, let me go back. So her name is Erica Means, and her husband died from brain cancer due to a genetic mutation. Now, this is a genetic mutation that I'm familiar with because I was tested for it. See, paperwork. We'll get into that. And the husband is Spencer Shemwell, and he turned left on a red light. Folks, I may not be a driver, but I know enough to know that you can only go right on red, and only if it specifically doesn't prohibit going right on red. You cannot go left on red. And when he did, a tractor trailer was coming, didn't have time to stop, and T-boned his wife's side of the car and killed her. Now, it said in articles that there were no other serious injuries. Well, that's funny because he was life-flighted. So he must have been pretty seriously injured, if what he says is true. Both Mormon. So the group they joined was a Mormon group. She had 7 children and he had 4. He was in Virginia. She was in Utah. After they had been speaking online for about a year, he moved to Utah. They started dating, and they were married months later. A lot of people say, oh gosh, they moved fast. Well, she'd been widowed for 2 years, so she didn't really move that fast. He'd been widowed for a year, for just over a year. And I understand they have kids, and that makes it more difficult. But I think of my own parents. My parents got married within months of meeting and would be married 52 years if they were both still alive. So one never knows. I guess the show only lasted 1 season. It was very controversial. I suspect the reason that it only lasted 1 season. Oh. Hold on. Hello. I'm back, guys. Okay, that was Stephanie. We're leaving in about half an hour. Let me get back to what we were talking about. And the mom, whose name is Erica, lost her husband to brain cancer due to a genetic mutation that I was actually tested for. And they had 7 children. They had most of them after finding out about his genetic mutation, which they passed on to 4 of them. One of which also died after the show went off. I think the show went off after he was diagnosed. And when they got married, Spencer and Erica adopted each other's children. Her children were hyphenated. Means Shemwell, but it's hard. I don't like it too much. Now, his family had the gene going way back. His mother and a lot of other family members. So much so that a family member actually bought grave plots in a cemetery for those family members who could not afford a grave plot, who were going to need it, unfortunately. Now, what they said, sorry, I'm trying to put this elastic in here where it goes. Get in there. Come on. I'll do it after. Anyway, Lee Fermoni, spelled Li-Fraumeni syndrome. It's a very rare genetic syndrome. Families with Lee Fermoni typically have the following features. Several family members who have been diagnosed with cancer, most commonly soft tissue sarcomas, breast cancers, leukemia, osteosarcoma, melanoma, colon, pancreatic, brain, and additional. The presence of these cancers in multiple generations, younger than average ages of diagnosis, the occurrence of 2 separate cancers in the same individual, which was why I was tested. Well, I have a couple of those things. Several family members who've been diagnosed with cancers, with these types of cancers, and also the occurrences of 2 separate cancers in the same individual. One gene has been discovered which, when altered, increases an individual's risk to develop the above-named cancers. This gene is called TP53. The DNA analysis of your TP53 genes did not reveal a detectable gene alteration. This analysis was performed at the Laboratory for Molecular Medicine and included full sequencing of the gene. There are 4 possible ways to explain your negative test result. Most likely, your personal family history of cancer is not due to one strong inherited factor, but may have been caused by several. Most cases of cancer are thought to be due to a combination of genetic and environmental factors, with only 5 to 10% of women with breast cancer having a hereditary form. Although unlikely, another possible explanation for your negative result is that you have an alteration in BRCA1, BRCA2, or TP53 that the laboratory was unable to find it based on the types of analysis that were performed. Neither tests included deletion, duplication, large rearrangement analysis, as your insurance company is unlikely to cover this cost. Okay, it says, although we would not recommend this testing for you at the present time, please feel free to contact us if you would like to go forward with additional testing, and we would be happy to help coordinate this for you. Not my paternal uncle. My father's cousins. My cousin, my paternal cousin. and he was tested and did not have the gene, and they were shocked. So 4 out of the 7 kids have it, and it increases their risk of cancer by a lot. And you have to be scanned every year. That's what they told me, and that's what they do. What they don't mention in the show is that their oldest daughter, their oldest was a son, 12. Their oldest daughter, age 10, before the father ever died, had a brain tumor herself, although it was not growing. So, but they never mentioned that on the show, even when they were going for their MRIs. So, her brother, Erica's brother, is a little too involved. A lot of people really like him. I think he needs to keep his nose out of his sister's business, but and don't get me wrong, I believe he cares about her. He's a little more emotional because, well, first of all, it's his sister, it's his nieces and nephews, I get that. But one thing that will affect his feelings and the way he comes off to people, because a lot of people were saying that he comes off as, I don't know, stuff up maybe, or, but I don't think that's what it is at all. I think he's a little bit effeminate, because I think that he may be gay. No judgment here, because I believe God made people that way. I'm just saying, I think that he is, and I think that that just makes him understand. I think gay men have more of an emotional connect, not all of them, but most of them, than straight men do. Because they don't follow the same masculine lines that most men do. When I first saw him in the clips, I thought he was her husband, but he wasn't, and that's not good either. All of the children between the two of them ranged between the ages of 12 and 3. Her son was born several months after his father died, her youngest son, Caleb, who ended up dying at the age of 7 of brain cancer. By the way, when Spencer ran the red light and his wife was killed, she was 4.5 months pregnant. 18 weeks or 4.5 months pregnant. Evidently, her parents told his 3 or 4-year-old not to call them Grammy and Grampy when he tried to. Yikes. Really? He's a baby. He's watching everybody around him call you Grammy and Grampy. You're mean. Like I said, they never mentioned Emma's tumor when they went for their yearlies. Her father had said in an interview for an article way back before he died, he was in remission at the time, he said that Emma also had a brain tumor and that it was not growing. So, yeah. I'm sure they left that out on purpose, but I'm also sure that they ended the show about the time Caleb was diagnosed on purpose. um, a lot of people question Spencer. Did he marry her for a babysitter? I don't think he did. I think you have to understand Mormonism. Mormons have certain beliefs about the children they're supposed to have, their spouse, those types of things. And they believe that there are spirit babies out there waiting to be born, and if they don't give birth to them, they will float around up there. That sounds rather bizarre to me, but I'm not Mormon, so who am I to judge? I have to admit, though, I've never read that in the Bible anywhere, but anyway. Because a lot of people were questioning why she would have more children once they knew about the mutation. And they're saying they found out about it after their second child was born. When he got sick. Yeah, no. Which would have been Emma. No, not according to that article, because he knew his mother and other family members had it on her side of the family. Because that's what the article was about. Yeah, I never read that paper like I just read it to you. And it sounds to me like they're not 100% sure that there was something that was undetectable because they didn't do certain parts of the test because it couldn't be paid for. I was told this was being paid for by the, what do you call it? Maybe it was the BRCA that was being paid for by their fund, maybe not the reefer money. So, yeah. Trying to see the time, sorry. My personal opinion is they had children according to their religion, what they believed God had for them. And however wacky that particular belief may be about spirit children, to us, it's very real to them, and we have to respect that. At least if she has a child with Spencer, which they were thinking about. I don't think they ever did, but she doesn't have to worry about the gene mutation. This one's an interesting gene mutation, though, because you only need it in one side of the family. Now, the way it was explained to me is you have a higher risk, but you get a scan every year. They didn't tell me you have like a 90-something% chance of getting cancer. you do have an astronomically high risk. I need to get this one elastic in there. No, nope, that's okay. This one will go, which will hold it better. I think. Sorry, guys. Like I said, I was told about it in a not scary way. As a matter of fact, somewhere I read that he told his wife when he married her that she was marrying into a cancer curse, as he called it. So they knew from the beginning. So where these people got that they found out after the second child was born and he was diagnosed is completely and utterly wrong. They knew from the beginning. And so I wanted to talk to you about this because when I saw the Leaf for Me, I went, wait a minute, I was tested for that. And so I watched a bunch of clips, read a bunch of articles, read a bunch of Reddits, read another board I've never heard of, and put together this show. So I hope you enjoyed it. God bless you. Please subscribe. We're going to get to 300 by the 4th of July. Bye, guys. God bless you.